Today we're here with Kevin, also known as Emo Element on Instagram. We're gonna get a full tour of his element today. Kevin, thank you so much, brother. Can we talk about like just the conceptual idea of the element? Like why did you decide to build it?
Yeah, when my first experience with the element wasn't all that great. Not my element, but somebody else's element, and I wanted my own camping rig, and I did not think of the element at all until I got onto the market and I looked at all the options, and I kept falling back onto, wow, the element might be what I want, but I wasn't sold on it. And then it had the all-wheel drive and a manual, and so I was like, you know what, that's kind of a unicorn. I want that. So I bought it, and because I didn't like my friend's build out, I wanted to do something on my own and start thinking out of the box, or in the box, let's say. And at that point in my life, I was really big into ultralight backpacking, and I got really comfortable carrying minimal weight and gear on my back through the Sierras. And I was obsessed with being organized while I backpacked. And so with all that I learned from backpacking, I wanted to apply to a miniature build out. And I was up for the challenge. And so I really tried to put a lot of thought into the build out to make it livable in a very confined space. And I just used a lot of rules in backpacking, where you have to find the value in everything that you bring. If you can make everything like dual purpose, even, it has even more, it's worth more. So I tried to apply that in the element.
That's awesome. And what about like the basics of it? Like what year is it? How many
Yeah,
miles?
so it's a 2006 EXP, and it has close to 200,000 miles on it now. It's a 5-speed manual transmission. I have a lift kit on it, maybe around 2 inches, but it's also on coilovers, so I'm not sure exactly where it's at right now. Got really big tires on it that help the lift too. Skid plates for the gas tank. The engine had the Ursa Minor pop top installed. I have like a 100-watt solar panel up on top, a cargo box. Used a cargo box for most of the stuff that I use outside on the trail. So I could then minimize what's inside, and if it's inside, it's meant for living. If it's outside, it's in the box.
Ah, that's so smart. That's how you organized it.
That's how I organize it.
Excellent. Cool. So like let's go around the car now and just like talk about the exterior of it, maybe like going from the front all the way to the back.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you talked about your wheels and tires and suspension.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little more detail about exactly what's going on, like brand and all that?
Yeah, so right now I actually have stock shocks on there. That's because I pulled off the BC coilovers, and I have flat out suspension, which I'm going to put on here, but I just haven't yet. But these tires are pretty big. You can see that's almost as big as you could get on that. And I think that is a 2-inch lift.
245, 65, 17s,
Yeah,
nice.
black rhinos. But yeah, I really like these Falcon Peaks. They're really good tires. They don't have a lot of road noise, so it makes it a nice freeway flyer.
Oh, that's another question people are going to ask is what's the miles per gallon on this thing? Do you know?
Yeah, so if I drive it the way I want, and I drive it like a school bus full of kids. I'm not rough on this. I used to be, but now I'm learning like, oh, I love my element. I really don't want to trash it. I got to make this thing last. Yeah. So I typically drive somewhere between 65 and 75, right? I don't like to go too fast, over 75. And with that being said, it fluctuates anywhere from 19 to 21 miles to the gallon.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That's much more than I thought.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. It's, but I think a lot, well, one, I don't know if the manual transmission helps with that or not. I have also a 2011, and it gets somewhere around the same mileage, but it also has a lift, cabinets, one of the Rob Deasy racks all on there. But this is my baby. It's older, it has more scratches and dents on it, but it's still my baby. I love this one.
Awesome. So maybe we can show us what's going on up top. We talked like a little bit more in depth, like what kind of solar panel is that and what kind of box is that?
Yeah, well, one, we have lights up because we were partying last night.
We were partying last night for sure.
So those are little leftovers from last night. But yeah, this is a solar panel and it's 100 watts. I like this one because it's narrow and long. And so it fits well with the cargo box up there. And then the cargo box, I don't remember, it's maybe a Yakima, I don't remember. I took the decals all off when I got it, but yeah, I love that box. It works really well. I have that actually modified inside, like dividing walls. So when you pop it up, things won't shift all the way, like say to the front.
So it's up like that.
Yeah, so I have dividing walls so I can put things away and they stay right where I put them. So yeah, it's all about being micro organized in a small vehicle. Really goes a long ways.
Yeah, and I think you're probably one of the best at it. Molly's actually really good too, but I think
Molly's fantastic at it. I love Molly.
Can we see the rear? What's going on?
Yeah, let's do that. That's always kind of changing. So I have a Wilco tire swing out. It's really a love-hate for this thing. Just because it had a little bit of a wobble. I didn't like how far it stuck off of the car, right? Because there was a gap, and I've always felt that gap was just looked bad. And so I wanted to fill that gap. And that's where I started to come up with ideas of maybe carrying other things, you know, that help fill that gap. And this is kind of what I came up with. So with this, I have a diesel heater, which I ran the controller and wires inside the Element, so I could, with the controller, turn it on and off and make whatever adjustments I want to the diesel heater. I have two hoses here. They, one will go up into the e-camper, the other one will go into the Element. It works really well. We were camping in the snow, 15 degrees outside at night, and it was 70 degrees in the Element. Yeah, you don't even want the blankets on you. Really amazing. This one I bought. This is my second one that I've had now. The first one I got was the very typical one you see everywhere, Chinese diesel heater, and it always leaked gas, like diesel. Always, always, always. And I kept replacing the cap. I replaced the tank. I struggled over and over again, and it always leaked. This particular one that is now the second one that I bought mainly for this gas cap. This is where the other one leaks so much, and this is more like an automotive gas cap where you can't over tighten it. See, it clicks. I don't know if the other one was getting over tightened or the pressure, something, but it would always leak diesel gas. Not good. And so I replaced it with this one. It works beautiful. So yes, I do recommend this one. It just feels a lot sturdier. There's a little bit of rust issues here and there. I mean, I guess you could change some of the screws to make it look better, but it lives outside on here and it works. Even the cheaper one that I had for years, and it lived outside and it still worked. You know, because I questioned that when I first did it. I was like, oh, can you let these things live outside? So far, no issues.
Awesome.
Which is really great. But yeah, the two hoses work fantastic. I ended up just stuffing them inside the wheel there, and they've never fallen out. So it just makes it a lot easier to just pull it out, because I honestly do not want to take a lot of time setting up my Element. I just want everything to be smooth. In fact, this is not the final product. My brain is still like spinning trying to figure other ideas out. But this right now works, and I like it. Often I'll actually have a shower here. So I'll swap from a shower to a diesel heater, because I don't need the diesel heater during the summer, of course. So I have a shower, but honestly, okay, I love the shower. It works really well, but I just never use it. I'll jump in a river in the summer or whatever, and so I never use it. And so I'm thinking about just leaving the diesel heater on and never putting the shower back on. But if you want a shower, those little portable Insta-Hot showers that run off of propane work amazingly well, and I definitely recommend those. They're really nice, but I jump in lakes and rivers. For me, that's fine.
Shower.
Yeah, nature shower. And so this is one thing that I'm working on and built and absolutely love, because when I go camping in my Element, I really want to cook and enjoy my meals and days a lot more with good food. I like mushroom foraging, so I'll go do all this cooking with the mushrooms, but always you have to clean up. And so that's where I came up with this. This is a 5-gallon tank. I have 5 gallons here. I have 4 gallons of drinking water in here, but this has like a micro switch. You could like do dishes. It swings around. it's quite nice. And just put it out of the way. The diesel heater, the exhaust is actually underneath. So when we were camping in the snow and it was below freezing, that heat heated up the whole entire water tank, and in the morning you actually had warm water, which is like really nice. So this right here, stainless steel, 5 gallons, has a German pump in there. The electrical, I just have electrical running out here to run the diesel heater in this. But for me, this is a game changer, because if you want to do remote camping, places you don't have water, it's amazing to have this. You can keep yourself clean, your dishes clean, all of that. So yeah, I really like this new addition to the Element. This here, recovery boards, I think I've tried to use them getting out and it never worked. Manual pushing the car and stuff like that helped a lot more than just this. But mainly when I got this is because I had the red gas tanks on here, and I just didn't like the look of the red just being so bright in the back of the Element. So I just wanted to black it out. And so I just took one of these knobs, cut it off, and then put the Rotopacks mount right through there, and I thought it ended up looking really clean. The Gobi ladder, and I forget the company that makes these additional steps. I don't ever really use this, hardly ever, to get in and out of the e-camper, like almost no way, don't even do that. I do have a shovel here, which is a titanium shovel. It's really nice. I've had it for years. It's a little beat up, should refinish the wood, but anyhow, shovel, you always need a shovel. It's mainly for going poop in the woods, digging up clams, right?
Also, you're gonna regrow your mushrooms.
Exactly. So, but yeah, so I really like this setup. The Rotopacks is expensive, but I kind of like the look, and I have it, so it works great. One of the cans is the diesel heater, or diesel gas for the heater. The other one is gas for the Element. 2 gallons, and there's 1 gallon that stays in the heater, and I use about 1 gallon a day. So if I go somewhere for the weekend, I could just pretty much run my diesel all day, all night, and yeah, just make it really comfortable. Yeah, you could put, if you're in the snow, you could come back with all your wet clothes, you put it in, hot air goes in it, all your clothes is dried, no condensation on your windows. It's really nice. The diesel heater really changes the game. Definitely worth it, because I have another heater in there, but when you use those catalytic heaters and you run them, one, you have to vent it, 2, you get condensation, all sorts of, they're just not perfect. But the diesel heater now is the game changer. So I definitely recommend the diesel heaters.
Awesome. And who makes the hitch? Is it OR?
The hitch is Wilco.
Wilco. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Wilco. And so I bought that thing nearly 10, maybe 13 years ago. I can't quite remember, but it's been a while. And like I said, I didn't like it at first. I thought it wobbled too much. I didn't like the gap. But after messing with it as much as I have, I ended up loving it. But it took me a while. But after, I built all of that, it works pretty well.
All right, are you ready to show off the interior?
Sure. So I have 2 cabinets, which I had made. And I really put a lot of thought before I made these cabinets. There wasn't a lot of build outs back in the day. When I first started, but Fifth Element was there. So Fifth Element is, seriously, it really helped me believe in a build out for the Element. But after looking at Fifth Element's cabinets, I thought, I want to do something for myself, my own idea. And so I made the cabinets a little smaller than Fifth Element's camping by bringing it to where it lines up with the hatch, because Fifth Elements will come out a little bit. But I thought if they're smaller, but I have 2, I'm still gaining a lot of storage space. And one big thing that I wanted to do is actually step the backside in more, so I could have more table. I could be back here and cook and clean. And furthermore, if I were to have it come all the way out on both sides, it feels like your world's closing in on you, like this tunnel view, and it pinches off, and I really didn't want that feeling. So if you're, say, sitting in the jump seats up there and you're looking back here, instead of it actually feeling like it's closing in on you, it feels like it's actually opening up.
It does feel like that.
Yeah, and so it plays with your mind a little bit and makes it feel like you're not claustrophobic in there, and there's a lot more space. And I did lighting too in there, which really helps. I don't know, just make it feel bigger than it is when you're inside. So the lighting really helped.
Yeah, when you're inside, especially like any way you look at it, it makes it feel very big, very open. Like you have a lot of room to expand out, especially with the doors open.
Yeah, it's like a little Willy Wonka kind of room to sit in. But yeah, then so I have I have a refrigerator, I think maybe 35 quarts or something like that. I just don't remember. It's been so many years. I let this thing run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I just never turn it off. It pretty much, it doesn't draw a lot of power. The 100-watt solar panel takes care of the battery, keeps it topped off, and this is always running. So if I'm in my house and I need more butter or something like that, I'm always like, oh, I always have butter in the Element. And so like, I'll just come out here. So it's quite nice. This is my food box, which I made. I just got a fabric box and made a wooden box for it. And yeah, just put, sorry, it's a little disorganized. We've been camping. But yeah, so this is my food box. I have knives and other things all in there, but this is quite nice to have. And this fits in between my seats perfectly. So as you move things around, it has a place to go completely out of the way that actually still has a nice clean look.
Yeah, I saw that last night. It was like a perfect little shelf almost for like drinks or whatever.
Yeah, you can even put your drinks up there. Yeah, and you can still access it. And so if I'll sleep in here a lot. And what I'll do is I'll take this box, put it between the seat, and then put my feet under the table. And it looks like it'd be cramped, but honestly, you almost never, ever, ever feel the table while you're sleeping. As far as like moving your legs, doesn't happen. And there's two tables here. You could put both of them up on the dashboard if you want to completely clear it out of the way. But I honestly love having the table there because you can wake up in the morning and start making coffee with your bed there and nothing is buried. So even if you're sleeping, you could access all the cabinets, everything, make your coffee, breakfast, dinner, whatever, and not worrying about digging for things. Maybe I'll start by showing you some of the things in my Element. Let me go around and I'll actually jump in the Element and maybe you can stay there for now and I'll show you some of the stuff I have. This is the second heater that I mentioned earlier. It's made by Covia. It's really nice. Made a little spot for it to rest. I have my little stereo up on top. It's nice, especially if I didn't have the other heater and I'm just super cold. That works well, but I hardly ever use it, but it's still really nice. This is the same brand, Covia, Korean brand, great brand stove. It has a pot, a lid, all inside. Really like this thing too. It runs off of those Asian fuel canisters. I keep 4 of them in here. Easy to access. It doesn't do all that great in the wind, but not that I'd recommend it, but I cook in here all the time. There's pros and cons. I'm living on the wild side. Please excuse me. But yes, I like cooking in here. This is one of my favorite things to cook is, well, it's not cooking, but preparing with flame is my coffee. This is like my titanium coffee pot pour over setup. I switched over to a AeroPress only because I feel it's the easiest thing to make coffee out of the Element. So I switched over to this. I've tried a lot of other methods and this is the most recent one that I'm trying. I like to hand grind it. This is a little water faucet that I have here. I have 4 gallons of water, which is nice to have for the weekend. I have a fruit basket, which I really like because I always struggled carrying fruit. And once I brought this in, oh, wow, life got easy because that's an easy, healthy snack to take, you know, especially for camping. And it's got color too, right? So it brings a little bit more life to the Element. Show you a little bit of the cabinet. I have the towel just to prevent some of the rattling, but this is a clay pot for making rice, and I have all kinds of just titanium bowls and pots, small cast iron here, and I have 2 more fuel canisters with backpacking style inside, because I have other stoves, like some of them are actually out there because we've been using them, but here's one stove, I have it there, and the same one that fits right on top of it. Little towels to keep the rattling. And this is where I put some of the fuel canisters, and the stove that this is sitting on. So meaning 1, 2, 3 stoves and all the fuel for it will fit in this little cabinet right here, which is awesome. So I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 stoves in here, and then I have a barbecue actually with the pizza stone that goes with it that actually hides down below in the spare tire compartment, which is pretty choice. And this is where I have all my tea stuff sits in here. So it's really easy to grab it and pull it all out there. It all fits in there perfectly. I actually have 2 of these, but the other one is in my friend's tent that I had set up. And so that's nice. And then this here is where all my plates and everything, because like I said, I really want to make this feel like a kitchen, right? Where I can sit here and cook and clean and all that. This is all like my utensils, you know, cutting boards, stuff like that. You know, it's all in here. It's a little messy, but believe me, I feel like I have just about everything I normally need for how I cook. And this right now, I've originally built this one for a Road Pro 12-volt little oven, but I burned that up, and now I just use it for my clothes, which is great. I could put, you know, 3-4 days worth of clothes easily in there. I do the same thing up in here. It's just some clothes, hats. This right here is where all my electronics go, and even like I'll have like my walkie-talkies, a little slot for those, but everything has its own charging cable. So if I put it away, I could plug it in and I'll have it charge while it's put away. So everything is always charged, which is quite nice. But the projector is pretty fun. I have a screen in there. I set it here and the whole back end becomes a movie. So yeah, these are pretty excellent. If you have an Element, you got to get one of these. Awesome.
Who makes it, Nebula?
Yes, Nebula.
Cool.
This is now really old. They make better ones, newer ones, but yeah, Nebula. And the thing about Nebula that is better than most of the other ones is that bulb on them is like twice as bright. So when you start looking at projectors and you're looking at the price differences, this one's horribly expensive compared to the other ones, but the other ones, you have to have it almost in completely dark to start seeing, and this one will work well just in like low level lighting instead of just being completely dark. So yeah, I like that. But yeah, everything fits in there, which is really nice. Tiny cabinet that holds a lot. Then there's this. This is my toiletry. Sorry, it's not the cleanest right now, but yeah, I have 2 full body towels, some other towels. But yeah, I just put everything that I use in there, so that works well. So whatever I need, everything has its place. So if I need it, it's there. When it comes time to cleaning up, I know exactly where it goes. So I'm able to keep my Element feeling pretty spacious and not cluttered at all.
Well, so you don't have swivel seats, but you've got the jump seat?
Yeah, so these jump seats I came up with. It's kind of a funny story. If you don't mind, I'll tell a story quick. When I first got the Element, I was just happy I could sleep in it until I saw a guy in a Volkswagen bus reading a magazine, right? And I was like, I got jealous. I was like, what? I want to sit in my Element and read a magazine. And honestly, within 2 days, I had the idea in my head. I made it and installed it. And it's very simple. It's magnets to hold that, bungee to hold that, and that's there. You open it up, you drop it down, and yeah, you have a seat. It's really good. I mean, they're super sturdy, you know, for how simple of a design it is. And first of all, this is a first generation Element, so you can only do this with the first generation. There's 3 generations, it only works for the first. And a huge plus for the first generation Element that cannot be ignored is the seats here. So the seats have huge amount of storage. This is a single air mattress that I have shoved in here, but I also have a double air mattress that goes in here, but it's in my friend's tent that's out there. But I can store this single air mattress and a double air mattress in here, and it double serves as cushioning when you sit on the seat. And
Okay, smart.
yeah, and so this seat, I actually have a whole bunch of clothes in here. So this is one of my closets. The cabinet is another closet, and then I even have this Fall Raven wool bag that's down here, and this is where I'll often put sweaters and stuff like that, fold them up and put them here. So I kind of have my clothes in different areas, but I don't have to carry a suitcase or anything anymore. Everything's put away, no more moving anything anymore. So yeah, I love these jump seats. They do not raise your seat. They don't change the safety standards at all for the seat. And they're just really easy to put away, right? Rather than having to clean everything up, more shuffling, opening up the doors to try to do a full swivel seat, which I have in my 2011. I bought swivel seats for this one, but after having them in my 2011, I was like, no, I absolutely love the jump seats. And besides, I came up with them too, so it's a personal love, right? So yes, but no, I love these jump seats for how easy they are. You can just use your fingers and there's little movement compared to the swivels. And I have a little neck rest, little things to just make it comfortable. I have pillows. Some of my other pillows are up in my cargo box right now, but this is one of the things that I try to incorporate from backpacking where things are dual purpose. So these pillows host like these are down pants, backpacking down pants, right? And I got more down jacket. I got several pillows. And so I got all these down jackets now, meaning you don't see any clothes in here, but I have clothes stuffed kind of everywhere. So
Every zipper has a little surprise.
yeah, every zipper does have a, but yeah, so so like I'll have a bigger pillow, which will have a sleeping bag in there. Cause if I sleep down here, I use a sleeping bag. I have a winter quilt for up in the e-camper that always stays there. So I'll use the quilt for the e-camper, sleeping bag for down here, and I put the sleeping bags in decorative pillows like this to make it feel a little bit more home-like. And my down pillows too, I'll stuff in one of those. I would like to show how I sleep here in the element compared to just sleeping up in the e-camper, because the e-camper, you're in a tent, and so it's like sleeping outside. If you're in a noisy environment, you're going to hear it. And if it's storming or whatever, you might not want to be in that e-camper. You want to be able to sleep down here. So when I designed this, I designed it actually before I got the e-camper, and I wanted to make sure I was able to sleep in here comfortably. And I'd like to show you the way I do that. So I want to show you, I'll move the food box up out of the way and put it in here. I would take the bed out of here, the air mattress that I showed you, and put it away, and that will free up the space here. And I just tuck my feet under the table and I will sleep, and when I move my legs, they don't hit the table at all. And okay. Woo-woo. So meaning if I were to have two people in here, which I have done many times, all I do is take the refrigerator and the water tank and I set it up here. And then literally the whole entire floor is clear. And then you inflate the double air mattress, which I have, and two people could sleep down here comfortably.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a ton of headroom in the back.
Ton of headroom. And what's really nice is you could actually still drop the jump seats with the air mattress in there. This little notch actually helps for the air mattress to tuck under the seat. So meaning you could wake up in the morning, mattress still there, drop the seat down and sit up. In the morning, you have the table and you could just start making your breakfast and stuff like that. And also, wanted to show how there's the table. Here, you can sit here at the table. There's two tables here, and this is quite nice. You can sit here, do your food prep or eating anything that you'd like. I'll also take one of the tables and I'll put it on the dashboard, which gives me another big surface area. So if I have a guest with bags and different things and shoes, it'll all sit on the table now that is going across here. It doesn't interfere at all with the food box. So nothing ever gets buried, which is really nice. Everything's accessible no matter if you have a bed in here or not. So yeah, it's quite nice. And so yeah, I just slide that back in place. Both of them move. The table actually goes out and will attach to the tailgate, giving you a really big cooking area on the tailgate, which serves a little bit better than just the tailgate, but still tailgate works well all by itself. But I made the table to work also outside. And that's the whole thing. I really want to create a living space. You can sit here, feet stretched out, 2 people very easily. Feels very home-like, cabin-like. That's kind of what I was shooting for. And has 0 bedroom look, right? Because bedrooms are kind of a personal look too. You don't always want to be showing your bed or whatever, or cooking when your bedding is all out, and then your bedding is going to smell like maybe something that you cooked, right? It ruined your sleep. So I try to clean all of that up, create my living space, and yeah, just have a more home feel, living room feel to the element.
I think you've done that quite well. We had coffee this morning, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is your coffee right here on the window table here that I came up with. So when the element door is closed, you have these little tables where you can set your drink down and stuff like that, which work out pretty good.
Yeah, that's sweet. Do you want to show us the e-camper now?
Sure. Well, there's the e-camper. I upgraded the mattress to a 3-inch mattress, but the cover for it is only designed for 2-inch. So I really had to stuff it in there, but made a huge improvement. The first 2-inch mattress, I just didn't find very comfortable. It made me actually start disliking the e-camper. So I was forced to do something about it. So once I upgraded it to 3-inch, it got better. And once this cover really falls apart, I'll actually custom make my own.
Yeah. Can I pop in there and take a look?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I did was I put these bungees here. So if you have 2 people, even by yourself, whenever you open the hatch, you have to deal with 2 things, the cushion and the hatch. And so I put this bungee so I'll always have a place to put it. It won't fall over. When you have 2 people, you really have to figure out the method on how to get up here, move around, and close the hatch, which is totally doable. But yeah, you got to get kind of friendly when you're up here with 2 people. But yeah, it's fantastic with the screen, the air, the lighting, all of it is pretty darn nice. And one thing that I want to mention is it's actually warmer in the e-camper than it is in the Element. And you wouldn't think that with the fabric, but over the last 10 years, me, my friends, my son, we've all agreed that this e-camper, when you close it up, is much warmer to sleep in than downstairs.
That's
in the
wild.
Element.
I would have never expected that.
Right, yeah, that's one reason why I wanted to mention that. I got little hooks here. Sometimes if this food box isn't here, this might be a nice place to hang your wet clothes and just let the water kind of drip down on the plastic floorboard, you know, just for whatever conditions, right? If you camp a lot, yes, believe me, you're gonna come in here wet, covered in snow, mud, or whatever. Even under the carpet, I have a big rubber mat. So if it's going to be a wet, muddy day, I'll pull the rubber mat out and set it on the rug here. I have 2 rugs here. One, they're both I got from eBay, and I can't remember the cost, but I love these rugs. But I think my choice wasn't very good. It's such a light color that I was, oh my gosh, trashing it quick. And so I tried to put other rugs for high traffic on here, but the rugs kept shifting around. And so I contacted the same company that made the other rug, and I asked them if they could make me a short rug to go on top of another rug that won't shift around. And so when they did it, they put this knobby traction on it so it'll grip into the other one and won't shift around. So it makes it stay clean and neat and organized. Furthermore, because the way it's set up, I'm always on my knees, and you know, you don't want to wear your knees out or anything. And with 2 rugs, the rubber mat, it's actually pretty cushioned.
That probably helps with sleeping too.
Yeah, insulation, all of that, absolutely.
Well, you know, I want to talk about these lights because I have them too.
Yeah.
The gold, and the Gold Zero Light of Life minis.
Yeah.
I love these things, dude.
Yeah, I do too. You know, there's a high and low switch on it and an off switch. I have them on a dimmer switch, so I could turn them all on, up and down. But sometimes, say if you're laying down right here looking up, you're going to stare straight into that LED. So it's nice you could turn that off. Yeah. and it won't be in your eye, but all the other lights are on. Having that option is like really, really key. I'm an electrical contractor, and so yeah, I like to geek out when it comes to all the electrical and wiring for the Element. I have 100 amp hour battery down below in the spare tire compartment. I have shore power wired up to it. I have it hooked up to the alternator, and I have it hooked up to the solar panel. So that thing is really, it just takes it all takes care of the power, all three of those. Yeah, it really makes living in the Element comfortable.
Kevin, my brother,
Yes,
dude, thank
Ethan.
you so
Yeah.
much, man. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this for so long. This is actually my dream interview, but you're kind of an elusive figure to get a hold of. Like, you're kind of in and out of the forest foraging mushrooms and
Or climbing or something. Yeah, I get shy with the camera, but Stephen, you make me feel comfortable. Thank you. You're really good at this. You're a really good guy. So
Thank you.
I've now known Stephen for a couple of years, and I'm always looking forward to seeing him. He's asked me to do this several times, and I keep trying to avoid it. But yeah, he's warmed my heart, so I'm happy to do this.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm sure everyone watching this is really appreciating it. So again, if you guys want to see more of Kevin's adventures, you can check him out at Emo Element on Instagram. If you want to see more videos like this, please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to give this a thumbs up and share it with your friends who might find it interesting. Last thing is that we have channel memberships. So if you want to become a member and help support this channel, you can check it out. And that's a great way to help support us, but then also you get exclusive access to exclusive videos that are only for members. So please be sure to check that out. Thank you so much again, bro. It's
Very welcome.
such a pleasure. I'm so
Indeed.
stoked, and I'm so inspired to like get back to my Element and get to work. So